What are the top eight ways to get rich with crypto during the 2024 and, of course, at some point into 2025 bull run? The key, of course, is always to buy low and sell high. How do you get early? Where do you look to get early? Well, in this video, I want to tell you some of the things that you can do to get yourself positioned early to be able to cash out later, hopefully, for millions. I want to discuss the cost of these different things, the risk of these different things, and the potential profit of these different areas of cryptocurrency investing. Of course, as always, cryptocurrency is risky. You can lose all of your money. Full risk statement as well as portfolio disclosures down below in the description. So let's get into this. And first, I would like to start off with a very popular topic we've talked about a lot here on the channel. Of course, that is airdrop farming. In fact, I made a video on this. It's about scroll, but we'll get back to that in a second. I made a video on airdrop farming just the other day. You should go watch that for my top 5 Q1 airdrops for 2024. But there are some great airdrops out there to be had. People have made thousands of dollars on airdrops. Most people don't, because most people don't click the buttons. It's too much of a barrier for them. They don't go on chain. They don't get a wallet. They don't take advantage of the opportunities. Here's an example. Scroll. How do you get the scroll airdrop? Well, what you need to do, get an Ethereum wallet like MetaMask, withdraw some Ethereum to that wallet, and then you need to bridge it over to the scroll network. Now, here is a bonus tip for you. You probably don't really want to take it out to the Ethereum network at all because the fees are too damn high. So you can actually go from a network like Linea or Arbitrum, for example. So maybe your exchange supports Arbitrum. So you withdraw 1 Ethereum from your exchange to your MetaMask wallet on the Arbitrum network. Now you go from Arbitrum over to Scroll and you bridge your Ethereum across. So now you've got money on the Scroll network, so you can start going and doing stuff. But as a bonus here, you've actually got yourself in line now potentially for an Orbiter Finance airdrop as well. 2 birds, 1 stone. Now we have to start doing some things here. So we go to SyncSwap, syncswap.xyz. Start doing stuff. Make some swaps. Do it regularly with that Ethereum that you bridged over to the Scroll network. This could get you in line for the airdrop. There's no definitive guide on what's exactly going to be the requirements, how much volume you're going to need, how many times you need to, we don't know how long you need to have been doing it for, but the snapshot has not been taken yet, so there's still an opportunity here. Now that one requires a bit more work. You got to bridge stuff over, et cetera, do some volume, use some apps. One that's really easy to get is the Manta Network airdrop. You'll find an invitation code down below in the description of this video. Basically, you take your Ethereum from the Ethereum mainnet and you bridge it across to the Manta Network. You let it sit there and you will get rewards in the form of NFTs for having your Ethereum on the network. Now, the snapshot's not been taken yet, but it's probably going to be taken pretty soon. So if it's something you want to get involved in, you get your ETH over there pretty soon. Again, link below in the description. And obviously, using any of these new networks, really anything we're talking about in today's video, but using these new networks, there are risks. So keep that in mind. Well, I've personally put 50 ETH across here. That's a number that's not going to be right for everybody. That's for me within my risk tolerance. For a lot of people, that may be way too much. So keep that in mind. Okay, so how does airdrop farming rate as a way to get rich with crypto? Well, the cost, free to cheap. I say free because actually there's some situations where you can basically spend no money at all by using test nets, which is not what Scroll was or Manta was. But okay, technically can be basically for free. In fact, Manta is basically free, assuming you have Ethereum already sitting there. You just move it across and let it sit there and you got to start farming the airdrop. That's free. You're just using your existing capital to do it. You don't have to go buy anything. Now, with something like using SyncSwap on the Scroll network, you got to go and actually create some volume trading. So you got to trade your Ethereum back and forth for stable coins on a regular basis. You're going to lose a little bit of money in the exchange rates and the slippage and stuff like that. So it's going to cost you a little bit of money. You have to pay on-chain transaction fees and cost a little bit of money. There are some test net networks out there that are free to use. You can check those out as well. But generally, airdrop farming, a pretty cheap activity to do. Risk, usually low risk. Of course, there's lots of scams and scam links out there and scam airdrops. But for the big airdrops, the well-televised ones, there's a lot of safe ways to do it. Of course, anything in DeFi is risky. Anytime you bridge money, it's risky. So you have to keep that in mind, but relatively low risk, let's say. Profit potential, very, very high. Some people have literally made hundreds of thousands of dollars on airdrops the day the airdrop comes. Now, if you hold some of those airdrop coins, sometimes they're worth even more than that. I always bring up the story of Avalanche and Solana because they're just that damn big and important. Those airdrops are both worth almost $1 million freaking dollars, man. There you go. Okay, next one, staking. Let's talk about staking. Staking is a very popular way to earn money with your crypto coins. You can see here some different rates for crypto coins. Ethereum, 5%, ADA, 3%, AVAX, 8.6, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Staking is a very popular way to earn with crypto, even on the big coins. And we are early enough in the cycle that's probably still okay to be buying some of these big boy coins. Because here's the thing with staking. Those rewards can really add up. Because let's say you're staking Ethereum today and you're getting a 5% reward. It's paid out in ETH. So that ETH you're getting today in the future could be worth 10 times as much. So suddenly your reward rate goes from 5% to actually 50% in the long term if you hold that ETH. Or of course, if you take that ETH and then restake that ETH, you make even more rewards long term. So this is how to think about staking. But what you don't want to do with staking is come in when ETH's worth like $15,000 the market top and then go all in on ETH and start staking it, because then your reward rate's going to be like 1% dollar value. You're still going to get your 5% of ETH, but you're just not going to make very much off it because you bought at the wrong time. Even with staking, you want to buy low and sell high, not buy high and stake to the bottom, basically. It's not how you want to do it. It's not a good way to do it, okay? So keep that in mind. There's lots of great staking coins out there. Obviously, you can get something like Ethereum or Solana, but they're the big boys. Look, the market caps are huge right now. Market cap of Solana is $40 billion, basically. What about some other coins that are not so popular yet, but could become popular? Say, for example, is getting a lot of attention right now, and it's only a $1.5 billion market cap. So in order for that to get to this, heck, half of what Solana is right now, it's got to almost do a 15x. There's a lot of opportunity there. So if you're staking your coins and earning early, then you have a great potential to sell much higher in the future. There's other networks like a Star, which is kind of just breaking out of a long-term accumulation pattern. We have stuff like Oasis Rose Network, which also breaking out of a very long-term accumulation pattern, basically for the last 18 months. Now we're finally starting to see a little bit of movement on some of these coins, which is very exciting. So obviously the play would have been to accumulate here during the bear market and stake them for a year or two. But you can't do that now because that period is past. But if you're buying these coins and staking them now, there's still good upside potential leading into the market cycle. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind there. Now, how much does this cost? Unfortunately, the costs for staking are very, very high. If you want to buy 100 Ethereum and stake 100 Ethereum, well, guess what? You're going to need like $250,000. Maybe you got $250,000. That's cool. Maybe you don't have $250,000. Sorry about your luck. Depending on how much money you have, how much portfolio size you have, is probably going to influence your decision to an extent. Because if you have a very small portfolio, Ethereum is probably really not the best ticket for you at the end of the day. You're probably going to look for some of these newer networks that haven't really taken off yet, because you can get much more affordable market cap prices. Would you rather buy something that's a $500 million market cap or a $500 billion market cap? Those are your choices. One's got a lot more room for gains. That's for damn sure. Risks, very low. I would say that staking is probably one of the lowest risk activities you can do. Yes, there are still risks. I'm not saying it's risk-free, but it's one of the lowest risk activities you can do. And profit, generally low. We see the rates are 5, 6, 7%, 8% sometimes. Sometimes you get higher ones. I think Polkadot's like 12 or 13% right now. Generally, though, the reward rates are not super crazy high. However, if you look at it from the perspective of, okay, I have my 10,000 whatever, a star coins, for example, and I stake them now and I get my staking rewards. Well, in a year or 24 months, those are worth 10 or 20 times as much. So it's a really good opportunity to be staking now. And it is a very high profit position. Okay, let's talk about meme coins. Guys, meme coins are crazy. You know, meme coins are crazy. Got lots of love for the meme coin community. You guys are nuts. Meme coins have, of course, been perennially popular, and there are seasons for them where they go absolutely insane, but people always kind of like meme coins. Anyway, the big boys, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, Bonk, Pepe. I mean, if you're here to make money, these are probably not where you really want to be looking, to be honest. I mean, look, Dogecoin's a $12 billion market cap. How much money is that realistic going to make? Probably not that much. And meme coins, they're dumb, man. We all know they're dumb. They're just dog pictures or frog pictures or whatever else you guys go crazy for. But they're also a financial representation of culture. And are you really going to fade culture? Because there are definitely times for meme coins when they go insane and people can take a few $1,000 or a few $100 and literally make millions. That's in many cases the equivalent of winning the lottery. Most people don't do that. Most people just lose a bunch of money chasing hype, going after one meme coin after another. It's pumped and pumped and pumped and pumped and pumped. And they throw $1,000 in and it goes to zero. $1,000 in goes to zero. $1,000 in goes to zero. Just one more time goes to zero. Keep that in mind, okay? Meme coins are pretty damn crazy. Yeah. But hey, when it starts popping off, you can make millions in a few days. So there's that too. If you are playing that game, you got to really play that game and know how to play that game, right? You don't go all in on a meme coin. Meme coins, you got to spread your bets out a little bit. You put $500 here and $500 here and $500 there and $500 over there and hope that one of them doesn't go to zero and that actually does something. Now, okay, so costs very low. Generally for meme coins, especially like the really low cap ones, like under $1 million market caps where some of these things start, like you can't go and buy $1 million of that coin. Well, I guess you technically can, but you're going to make the price go absolutely insane. If you do, you're probably only putting in a few $100, maybe $1,000. So the costs are relatively low for the big gain potential for meme coins. If you want to buy $1 million of the Dogecoin, I guess you can do that too. That's, you know, everybody has things they do with their lives. Risk, pretty high. 9 out of 10 are going to go to zero. Probably 9.9 out of 10 are going to go to zero. Very few meme coins have stood the test of time. That's why Dogecoin, the OG meme coin, is so important because it is the one that's always been here. A lot of these other ones are simply not going to be here in 6 months or a year. Or, well, they'll technically still trade, but nobody will buy them. There'll be zero liquidity and the price will be down 99.99%. But hey, technically it's still there. Profit potential, zero or millions. It's death or glory when it comes to meme coins. They're either going to make it big or lose it all. It's a tough game to play. I don't think a lot of people understand how risky it is when they start getting into the meme coin game. So next thing I want to talk about, beta plays. So what do I mean by beta play? So basically you have your main network, let's say Arbitrum as an example, and Arbitrum's probably going to do pretty well as the alpha play. The beta play is going to be ecosystem coins native to the Arbitrum ecosystem. Now you can see here on coinmarketcap.com, they've got all kinds of different things that work with Arbitrum and stable coins and stuff like that. They're not natives to the Arbitrum network or particularly dedicated to the Arbitrum network. Maybe something like Trader Joe, for example, they're on Avalanche and Arbitrum, I think Ethereum now as well, but they're more of an Arbitrum native from that regard. So if you look and find some of those Arbitrum natives or ones that are quite dedicated to the Arbitrum network, Gains Networks, another one, Radiant Capital, those ones are really like into the Arbitrum network versus others that just kind of dabble per se. These beta plays on major blockchains are where a lot of money is going to be made. Now, some ecosystems have already had a lot of their betas play out big time. Ethereum, for example, they've got a lot of big beta plays. MakerDAO and Lido Finance and all these coins that started at relatively nothing and made millions for early investors. You have that same opportunity now on Arbitrum, Optimism, Scroll, ZK Sync, Linea, other networks coming up like Say Network, right? A lot of people are talking about this one. Sui, another one. We have 5 or 6 other blockchains probably coming out in the next few months that are probably gonna have similar opportunities. Watch out for all this stuff. Manta Network, they're gonna have a lot of stuff coming out pretty soon. There's a new exchange coming out called Kilo X, KILOEX. So they're coming out soon. They're aiming to be the big perpetuals exchange for the Manta network. Like these early beta plays have huge potential, in my opinion. So how do we rank these early beta plays? Cost, generally low to medium. You want to find them when they're cheap. Obviously, depends on how much money you invest. If a $10,000 portfolio, maybe invest $1,000, right? Keep that in mind. But generally, you want to find these suckers early. The earlier, the better. If you're buying them when it's all over your timeline, it's probably too late. Look in these ecosystems, come over to coinmarketcap.com, get in the Telegram groups, get in the Discord groups, start talking to people. Find the ones that are like going to be the big perpetual exchange or the big automated market maker like a Uniswap like play. Find those early and then get into them. Not rocket science. Because, well, a lot of times they're not going to do anything. If you can find some of those early movers of like a $5 or $10 million market cap coin that ends up going to be worth $1 billion, you made some money. Okay. Risk, medium to high. A lot of the stuff isn't going to survive. Not all these chains are even going to survive. Some of these chains could be the hot flavor of the week right now. And then in 6 months' time, nobody even talks about them anymore. Happens real fast. Profit, medium to high. Some of these are going to play out. Some of them will do okay. Some of these things are going to be big time. And they launch on these new chains. Like Trader Joe, for example. Trader Joe went crazy. It's had some great gains, and of course, real yield for people and stuff like that. So there's a lot of potential there for some of these coins. Okay, so before we get into the next narrative to make money, if you're not yet signed up for the Wealth Master newsletter, you got to get checked out. Best damn newsletter in the cryptocurrency industry, by the way. Every issue jam-packed full of alpha. You can get this straight to your inbox and join our 100,000 weekly readers for free and start getting deep dive altcoin reports, DeFi tutorials, airdrop guides, and much, much more. Check it out. Link in the description. Okay, next sector. Gaming. Gaming, man. So many ways to make money in gaming. You can get the airdrops. A lot of these airdrops are coming in the gaming sector. Farcana, for example, is a new upcoming gaming airdrop. Guy Mavia, I think, is doing an airdrop. Other ones, Sky Arc, I think they're doing an airdrop. Of course, we just had Fusionist a month ago, maybe, and I saw some people post that they got $100,000 from that airdrop. The influencers and stuff, but regular people, they got good money too. They got like $10,000 from that airdrop. It was crazy. So the question is, do you want to go for an individual game? If so, maybe airdrop farming is a nice way to do it. You can also get ambassadorship roles. I don't know if you've ever heard about this, but there's actually a lot of these games, they give out ambassador roles. They want people who can do content creation, moderate forums and stuff like that. You can get paid in a future airdrop from these guys, by the way. If you have time but not money, look into getting an ambassadorship role. You can try and get into the token sales. Some of these things will be launching on different token sale and launchpad platforms. Try to get in that situation. It's usually the best time to buy these things. You know, if you have even a small social following, some of these things have referral links like Farcana does. So you can download the game, get your referral link, share that around with people, maybe get some extra signups. Maybe you'll be the next guy talking on Twitter that you got a 6-figure airdrop from a game. It's possible. People do it just like you. People just like you do it. This is the thing. It's not unique. It's not special. People just like you are doing this. Okay. So keep that in mind. And of course, you can also go for the sort of more meta plays, things like Beam, which are it's a subnet on the Avalanche blockchain, but it's more of a gaming studio. And of course, watch for the big upcoming things. Off the Grid, for example, they're going to be a big game player that a lot of people are going to start talking about. Or again, Farcana as well. People are going to start talking about that a lot too. So there's a lot of big, exciting games coming up that are going to be the big thing and probably will take off once they launch. Now, by the way, just to be extra clear, I know I've already mentioned my disclosures, but I am a private round investor in both Off the Grid and Farcana. And I've got a position in Beam as well, which I farmed the crap out of back in the day. So just FYI. Now, before we get into NFTs, let's just break down the gaming. So costs can be low to free, depending on if you get airdrops, if you get ambassador roles, if you play the game. Sometimes just playing the game is all you need to do. And you can play the game and you can get free tokens later and you make thousands of dollars from being an early tester playing the game. That's crazy, right? Okay. Often, though, you're probably going to end up buying on the open market. Still great opportunities. Things like Shrapnel, which is a new shooter game that came out on Avalanche. Now, they came out in market price went up dramatically from the time it started publicly trading. So you will see a lot of hype build for these big games when they come out, okay? Try to find them early. Try to find them at low market caps. Look for ones with good backers. Look for games that you would actually like to play yourself. That's probably one of the big tickets. Risk, medium to high. A lot of these games aren't going to make it. A lot of these games will never get users and they'll go to zero. Profit, medium to high. Gaming's a hyped sector. I love the gaming sector. I think gaming sector is going to make a lot of millionaires. So watch out for it. Okay. Now let's talk about NFTs. NFTs, I know, NFTs, I'm going to talk about NFTs anymore, but NFTs are still out there and NFTs are still making money. There are people who are into NFTs. Look, NFTs for me, it's an area I don't spend a lot of time on. It's an area for me that's not as interesting as other areas in the market, but for the right people, this is going to be something that's you really get into. You get out there and you hunt down those whitelists. Now, we are talking about, by the way, in the Wealth Master newsletter, we talk about 3 NFT drops every single week for new mints, for new NFT collections that are coming out that could be the next big things. This is where you want to get in. You don't want to come and buy a CryptoPunk for 50 or 100 ETH. That's kind of getting late to the game, to be honest. You're buying it because you have more money you know what to do with, and you want to get it just for a lulz, right? But if you want to really make money on NFT flipping, it's a tough game. It's a brutal game. It's a low liquidity game. It's a game where a lot of people lose a lot of money, but people who are good at it can make a lot of money, and NFTs will come back in a big way. I'm certain of that because human greed has not gone away. We'll see big moves in NFT markets again, but you want to get in early. You don't want to be buying necessarily the top collections and everybody's hyping them up. That's when the exit liquidity is happening and you're getting dumped on. You want to find collections early so that you can be the guy selling to the hype people later. Okay? That's how it works. Now, let's break that down. Cost. Very low if you get into the mint. Some mints are even free. Did you know CryptoPunks were literally like a free mint back in the day? That's insane. That's insane, man. Because some of those have sold for millions of dollars. There's a lot of free mints that happen out there. Or sometimes they're very cheap. You know, they're 0.01 ETH or something like that. So you can get really cheap mints as well, or preferably on Solana or Arbitrum or Avalanche, where you don't have to pay stupid gas fees like on ETH. So the costs can be very low if you're getting in at the right time. Risk, very high, very liquid markets. It's crazy. NFTs, again, they're their own kind of game. You don't need to play it, but if you do play it, understand it's a very high risk game. Profit, low to high. Some NFT collections are going to do virtually nothing. Some NFT collections are going to go on to be the next big thing, and you'll make 100x returns on them. That's how it is. That's the NFT game. Okay, let's talk about DeFi. So DeFi is an area that's still here. Money Legos, man. Money Legos. People love making money. And all these silly money games we play with DeFi tokens are still popular. People still love doing all this stuff. And it's not going away. It's still here. So look, how do you make money in DeFi? Well, of course, you need to run out and buy the tokens and hope that they go up in value. That's one way to do it, obviously. But the real way you want to do it is ideally by farming some of these things. Now, stuff like PancakeSwap, for example, they've had some really big announcements recently with, for example, reducing their maximum supply from 750 down to 450 million, which is a 40% supply drop, boosting the future price potential for Cake with a whole bunch of other catalysts coming in. Still one of the biggest decentralized exchanges out there. That has great potential, and you can farm this still. So you can go and provide liquidity in PancakeSwap and get rewarded in Cake for free, right? Cool. Other things like Trader Joe. Now, they've actually finished their emissions, but they still pay out real yield in USDC. So that makes it an attractive coin. This is a DeFi coin, right? So this one you just pick up off the open market, right? You can't really farm it per se. Or something like Prisma Finance, which is a newer one to the DeFi scene. So it's a stable coin backed by staked Ethereum. Market cap super low, considering like all the huge backers and the huge total value locked and all that kind of stuff. And you can farm it and you get super crazy APYs on it right now. It's a very popular coin for stakers. So you can actually get truckloads of these coins by taking your staked Ethereum and farming and get the coins for free, which is the way to do it. And that's really the promise of DeFi. It's okay to buy the coins like Trader Joe or something like that on the open market. That's fine. It's okay to even buy some PancakeSwap, stake your PancakeSwap, whatever. Sure. But you really want to find the coins that you can farm, because if you farm coins early, they can be worth 10, 20x in the future, and you didn't have to buy them. So that's the thing with like Prisma Finance. You take your staked Ethereum, you put it in the farm, you get free Prisma, and you sell it for when it's 10 or 20x higher. Now, to be clear as well, I own Joe tokens, and I own Prisma Finance as well as being a private sale investor in Prisma Finance. But I'm bullish on these. I actually bought more Prisma Finance recently. So look, there's a lot of opportunities in DeFi to make big money, but farm the coins if you can, because that's where the real money can happen. Okay. So costs. If you're farming, which is the best way to do it, of course, the more capital you can deploy, the better. But generally, it doesn't cost you money. You just have to stake your coins, for example, or provide liquidity, which liquidity provision can lose money pretty quickly with something called impermanent loss. So watch out for volatile pairs. There's a whole thing there. But if you can do something with Prisma Finance where you just take your staked Ethereum and put it in the platform and earn 5 or 10% or whatever, that's pretty cool, right? Risk, man, DeFi shit gets hacked all the time. You can lose all your money straight up. Keep that in mind. Profit gains can be super high, which is why DeFi is still so popular. Okay. Now, final one for today. BRC20 tokens. This is the new thing. We've done a lot of research on this in the Wealth Mastery newsletter. You can go read those articles for free on the website. BRC20 tokens, they're the hot new thing. People are still going crazy over these things. So there's a whole bunch of different ones of these. The one that's really, of course, the big one is ordinals. That's really got a lot of people's attention, but there's a lot of them out there. Ordinals, of course, just is the big daddy with $1.5 billion market cap. But look, there's all kinds of other ones out there. It's a whole new niche, a whole new thing going on. And I feel like, particularly with BRC20 tokens, we're not going to go too in depth on what BRC20 is. You can go read the articles on the Wealth Mastery website if you want to. But with BRC20 tokens, I think the narrative is so new. I mean, the total market cap of all BRC20 tokens combined, Bitcoin tokens combined, is like $3.2 billion. A baby market, a tiny baby market. So there's huge upside potential in that situation for this entire market, especially as we see new players come on board and better offerings come on board. So BRC20 tokens, if you're willing to play the game, because it is a game, it's a specialized game. You got to figure out what's hot, what's not, devote yourself a bit into that ecosystem. But if you're like a really hardcore Bitcoin person, you want to go play on those like the other chains, well, maybe the BRC20s are something you would like to take an interest in. And maybe it's interesting for you in terms of, a big gains potential. So cost for this depends on the tokens, depends on how early you can get in. Risk, high. Most of it's garbage. Most will go to zero. Keep that in mind. Profit, I think profit potential is very high. It's a new narrative that could really have a big run this cycle. So don't fade it. Keep an eye on it. You don't have to play any of these games. You don't have to play all these games. You can just find one or two of these games to play that you're good at. For me, I like beta plays. I like airdrop farming. I like DeFi. I like gaming. Those are probably the things I spend most amount of time on. I don't spend a lot of time on NFTs. I don't do BRC20 tokens. You can't do everything. You don't need to do everything. Good luck. I hope you make millions. I'll see you in the next video.